Hello everyone and welcome to Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones as Petyr Baelish. Now Petyr Baelish is one of the most interesting characters in Game of Thrones, partly due to the fact that we don't know all too much about him. We don't know too much about his motives and about what he actually wants. Now he's stated several times that he wants everything, basically that he wants power for power's sake, which is interesting because well, it's a concept that I can't really relate to as much, which, as I said, makes it interesting, but also very difficult to do a roleplay on this. It's a nice challenge, I think. Now, for example, with Ned Stark, I feel like we know about 90% of Ned Stark, right? He has his love for his family and his friends, and at the same time he has his very strict view of honor, and those are the kind of two things that drive him. We still have, you know, obviously the whole Jon Snow thing that kind of makes him mysterious, but other than that, we pretty much have figured out Ned Stark, and even though I may not agree with, you know, for example, his view on honor, I can kind of understand Ned Stark, and it's relatively easy for me to actually roleplay him. It's very straightforward. Now with Petyr Baelish, you could kind of say the same thing, simply because he's very power hungry, but I don't get it. I just don't understand how someone just wants power for, well, power's sake. So I always think that there's something else behind it. So that's what makes it so interesting, and obviously makes it very difficult for me to do a roleplay in this. So I'm going to try and do this to the best of my abilities, and I'm sure that some of you guys will disagree, and I actually encourage you to disagree or even agree in the comments. But if you do so, if you are not, you know, if you don't agree with the actions that I take, please be civil about it. You know, don't rant on. Just, you know, quickly state if you think I should have done something differently. That's totally fine, that's good, I like that input, just don't really make a big deal out of it. But yeah, obviously the roleplay is going to be different from maybe the way you would play, for the reasons obviously that I interpret Petyr Baelish's ambitions a little bit differently, but also I need to make sure that I stay within the boundaries of CK2, because obviously the game sets a lot of limits to what you can do. So Petyr Baelish, in my opinion, is someone who wants a lot of power, but is more someone who acts from behind the curtains, I guess. And that's something you cannot really do to such an extent in CK2. For example, we are currently the Lord Protector or the Regent of the Vale, but we can't actually do too much. But we're going to talk about that later. So first of all, I think I'm going to go around and let's have a look at all the characters. Obviously, we have the White Walkers here. I could actually mark this guy. Might as well mark him as an important character. Not really sure if he is, but let's do it anyways. We have Jon Snow, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Then we should also probably mark Stannis Baratheon, the King in the Narrow Sea. We could actually decide to join him, but obviously we're not going to do that. Then we have the Boltons currently ruling the North, Roose Bolton. Currently fighting a lot of people, and actually Howland Reed has not yet decided to join. Okay, interesting. Then we have Sweet Robin, the Lord Paramount of the Vale, and we have currently Admiral Tully, who in this game holds the title as Lord Paramount of the Trident or the Riverlands, but actually it's us. We've already been granted this title by King Tom Baratheon, or I guess Joffrey even. So that is represented by having a strong claim, and you will see that over the course of this Let's Play, we're actually going to gain the title. But we're gonna talk about this when that actually happens. Then we have Euron Crowseye as King of the Iron Islands. We have, I believe, Cersei Lannister, yes, as Lady of the West, or Castle Rock. We have Mace Tyrell, the gorgeous Mace Tyrell, as Lord Paramount of the Reach. Stannis obviously ruling over the Stormlands, at least parts of it. And then we have, obviously, Aegon of Essos, Aegon of Harrenhal, who claims to be a Targaryen. Maybe he's a Blackfire, we don't know for sure. And then we have Prince Doran of Dorne. And I think one more character that's kind of interesting is obviously Daenerys over here in Meereen. So I think those are all the important characters we're going to have a look at for now. I hope I didn't forget anyone. I don't think I did. I have Admiral Tully as an important character. Good. So yeah, obviously we know about, well, Joffrey and Tommen and Myrcella, but why should we publicly declare for Stannis someone who I believe will lose eventually? So we're just gonna deny that. We know, of course, that it's true, but we're not gonna acknowledge that openly, because I guess we've been given the title Lord Paramount of the Trident by House Lannister, so why should we, you know, piss them off right now? Because so far, we're only the Lord of Harrenhal. We don't actually have the other titles just yet, so we need to be a little bit careful, and I feel like this is also the way Petyr Baelish will play. Now, obviously, usually with roleplays, I look at the traits that these characters have, and I kind of base my actions and decisions on these traits. But also, obviously, with characters like Petyr Baelish that we know a lot more about, you know, from the books and the shows, I will obviously rather stick to their, I guess, canon than I will stick to their traits. Now, obviously, these traits kind of represent the character, just that you know what I'm kind of going with. Now, one thing, though, however, that I will probably deviate from is the whole the whole deal with Sansa Stark. So right now, Sansa Stark is known as Elaine Stone, and she's believed to be our bastard daughter. And in canon, we actually, or Petyr Baelish actually wants to marry her off to the heir of the Vale, Harry or Harold Harding or Harold Arryn. And now here's my take on this. I'm not sure if this is true, but here's my take on it. The Lords of the Vale will never really fully accept Petyr Baelish as their Lord Paramount. I just don't think that's a possibility, right? And at the same time, I don't think that they would fight for Petyr Baelish if Sansa Stark, if he would come and say, you know, fight for Sansa Stark or something. I don't think they would do that. They accept him right now because obviously he's a genius and he knows how to manipulate people, but I don't really think that the Knights of the Vale would fight for Petyr Baelish. At least not, you know, at this time where we are right now. It needs a little bit more, I guess, trust in a sense. So here's the idea. I feel like that giving, I guess, Sansa Stark to Harold the Heir, we kind of build a relationship with these guys in a sense that maybe not friends or alliances, because I don't think that this is the way Petyr Baelish thinks, but kind of in a sense of favors, right? So Harold Arryn will owe us a favor for us giving him the key to the north. And I also think that if Harold declares a war for Sansa's claim, the Knights of the Vale will actually rally to his cause and support him rather than Petyr Baelish. So that's the reason I think in canon Petyr Baelish wants these guys, or these two, to marry. But I feel like this doesn't really work in CK2, because I will not have any control over either Sansa or Harold, you know, once both of them are Lord Paramount. So I think the best thing is to just wed Sansa myself and claim the North for her, so that I can then rule through her. I think that's the best idea, but I won't do that just now, so we're gonna wait and decide later. Now, I know this is very elaborate, I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment, but I feel like that's very important, especially with a character like Petyr Baelish. So, before we actually go forward, I just want to quickly check our focus, and I feel like now we are already a elusive shadow, so intrigue would make a lot of sense. But I think what makes even more sense is the business focus, simply because we're going to need a lot of money in order to buy people's loyalty. We're already quite rich, and obviously Harrenhal is very, well, a very rich castle, but we want more money. So I'm also going to go for the War Chest ambition, simply because I feel like this is just the best to do. I mean, we only need 700 gold. We should be able to do this. Now, also, kind of a side story, I just want to quickly mention the side. Perhaps we can rebuild Harrenhal. That would be kind of cool. I've never done that. I don't know if we can actually do this, because Petyr Baelish is obviously already quite old. But yeah, we'll have to see. Other than that, I want to start off with his ambitions again. So obviously we kind of save Sansa Stark for ourselves to claim the North eventually. I already talked about that we will get the Lord Paramount of the Riverlands, or the Trident, as soon as Admiral Tully loses his war against Tommen Baratheon, which he eventually will lose. It's just a fact. So what we're trying to do now is kind of strengthen our grip on the Vale, and the only, I guess, way we can do this, and this is one of the annoying parts about CK2, or I guess where the game limits us. You cannot be Lord Protector or Regent of one Lord Paramountcy if you're a Lord Paramount yourself. So as soon as we get the Lord Paramountcy of the Riverlands, we will no longer be the region of the Vale and thus no longer have any control over there. So we need to utilize the time we have right now and as good as we can. So here's one thing that you can do in the intrigue menu. You can actually choose a plot to usurp your liege's title, right? Now the problem, or the reason we can't do that right now is because in order to have this plot available, you need to have your primary title in the de jure, I guess, region of your liege. So right now, if our primary title would be Middle of Point, we could actually plot to fabricate a claim on the Lord Paramountcy of the Vale. But that's since we are the Lord of Harrenhal, which is in the Riverlands, as you can see right here if we look at the de jure regions, since that's in the Riverlands, we can't do this. So what we need to do is make our primary title be in the Vale. And that means we need to have a duchy title over here. And there's a couple of them available. Obviously we have the sisters. So now what I'm going to try and do is basically make one of these guys plot to fabricate treason. Because once they are, I guess, convicted of treason, we can then revoke their title. And as Lord Protector of the Vale, I think we can take away this title from our liege, Robert Arryn. I hope that you understand what I meant. So we're just going to go ahead and look and see who we can actually plot to, well, I guess, incite to either revolt or fabricate treason. It doesn't really look good. We need about 100. It's only 70. John Royce. Goldtown, the House Grafton. It doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of luck. Well, I thought that was going to happen. So I did a test run where I tried to usurp the Vale, and it didn't really work. We didn't have enough time to do what we want. Now this guy seems to be working. At least we can get the possible plot power over 100, which I think is necessary. We're going to try House Belmore. I'm going to try to make Lord Benedar II rise up in rebellion. We have Sylvia Belmore. Okay, we're going to invite you to the plot. Okay, so hopefully that's enough. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But if he revolts, we can fight him, usurp his title. Then we're gonna make this our primary title, and then we can actually hopefully plot to fabricate a claim on the Lord Paramountcy and usurp it since we're the Lord Protector. So yeah, this was laying out the plan. I know this was very, very long and very elaborate. I might actually put a mark in the video where you can skip that and go straight to the action, but I feel like, especially for a character like Petyr Baelish, who always seems to have a master plan, that this is kind of important to do. So right now we're just gonna set up my council here. I don't really care. I guess I don't really care about a Septon really, but I'm just gonna make him perform charity because otherwise he would be doing nothing, and that's kind of useless. As for our Justicer, I'm not entirely sure. We could also go ahead and fabricate a claim on well, some of these provinces and take them by force, and then I guess create the High Lordship of the Fingers. This way we could also kind of get our primary title in the Vale, but it's probably not going to happen. I don't know, I just feel like it's not going to happen. We definitely need to have a better Justicer, so we're going to try it anyways. We're going to try and fabricate a claim on maybe Sunrise Keep. We need 2 claims, we need 2 titles though, or 3 in general, or in total, in order to form the High Lordship, which is kind of problematic. So I doubt that we're gonna get the Vale. I just doubt we're gonna get the Vale, especially without, you know, console command or anything, but I don't want to do that. Alright, so I think I just spent 10 minutes talking. Wow, more than that. Alright guys, yeah, definitely gonna make a mark there. So yeah, let's finally get started. Good, I think we've got everything set up. Yeah, so obviously we can reveal Sansa Stark. We're going to do that later. We didn't actually take the month yet, or the day. Alright, nothing popping up, interesting. Aegon of Essos is now known as the Scourge of Griffin's Roost. Well, good for him. Good for him indeed. Alright, so we're going to go forward. We do have some minor titles to give up. I don't think I'm going to bother just yet. Yeah. Okay, so you have created a High Lordship. Okay, so that's the one that's then being taken over by the Freys. Okay. Your Septon of Harrenhal was cornered by a desperate crowd of beggars, so we lose prestige. Great. Now, one thing that's also kind of annoying about... One thing that's kind of annoying about this, well, we're going to talk about it later. First of all, we have people that want us to support them, so I guess... I guess actually there's gonna be more people asking us, I think. Let's have a look at our Liege's Council. I guess I'm gonna be well, loyalist, pragmatist. Generally be a faithful servant to the ruler. Well, I guess I'm gonna be pragmatist. But I guess it doesn't really matter since I'm the regent, so I'm technically the ruler. Most of these guys are actually pragmatists, except for Cadwal, who is a zealot. Interesting. So I think what we're gonna do is, John Royce, he wants us to, or Jon Royce, he wants us to support him by voting just like he does in the council. And for that we're actually going to gain a favor, and I think he's the most important guy out of the guys in our council. He's the strongest, I guess, the most influential. So we're going to accept that, and now he owes us a favor. And we can use that for all these kinds of things, you know, force our liege to give a council position, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really... I was hoping that there would be, like, forced to join plot. That would be really good, but I can kind of understand why this is not possible. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about, one more, I guess, rather annoying thing in this bookmark is the War for Dawn. So the Night's Watch, and sometimes even the Wildlings, are going to declare war on the White Walkers, and they're just going to call in everyone. And that's annoying because you can either accept, and then you're kind of in a stupid war that you don't really care about, at least I don't, as Petyr Baelish. But if you decline, you lose tons of prestige, and yep, there it is. You lose tons of prestige, and a lot of people are going to ask you, right? There's several people asking you, and every time they ask, you lose prestige. So you end up with like negative 200 prestige, and that's just annoying. So I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully I'm just not gonna get called in, but we'll see. So Elaine, what can we do with you? Talk to her about moderation. Now, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like, yeah, being temperate is just a little bit better than being a glutton. I don't know. Being a glutton, I don't think has any benefits necessarily. Prince Theon has been banished by Ramsay. Interesting. Okay. Cersei bought a favor from Joffrey. Okay. Well, good for you then. Good for you indeed. Now, we could also buy loyalty and all kinds of things, but I doubt that's really going to be all that useful. Initially, my plan is to let the Knights of the Vale... Oh, what's going on? He's attacking Titus Blackwood. Okay, interesting. Now, initially, I want to use the Knights of the Vale to fight whoever controls the North at that time in order to press Sansa's claim. But as I said, it's probably not going to happen. The Riverlands Admiral Tully, he's going to lose soon enough. He's already losing by 25%, and then I will just take over, and I will no longer have any control over the Vale, which is unfortunate. Here we can actually see the Brotherhood Without Banners currently fighting. Actually, wait, Army of Mans? Brotherhood Without Banners? Is that Mans Raider? Who is Mans? I mean, it would be confusing if that would be Mans, but no, it can't be Mans because he's dead, right? I'm confused. I don't know who is Mans. Perhaps it's just some random created character. That's possible. But yeah, so we're currently obviously... Okay. Yunkai declared a war on Meereen, on Daenerys. Interesting. Also, by the way, yeah, it's something I probably should have talked about as well. I'm using a couple of submods, actually 2 to be precise. We're using the Bloodline submod, which basically just adds traits to some of the members of the Great Houses. And yeah, basically. So that's kind of cool. And then also I'm using the More Decision submod, which offers, well, oddly enough, more decisions. And what the heck happened? Why did our plot stop? I have to trust Marshal Master Oswin to train my troops and to be able to suppress revolts, but he has not proved to be adept in those manners. Master Oswin has to shape up, or I need to find another marshal. Shape up, or you're out of your job. He seems pretty decent, although he's a sloth, so yeah, definitely shape up. Now, what happened to my plot? Oh, right, that's because he's independent. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. So let's see if we can... Yeah, I doubt... This seems to be a futile effort on our part. Yeah. Actually, you know what? One thing, let's see. What? Call in council support. Call in the favor... Oh, no, I don't want that. That's useless. Fabricate treason, that's only 88% possible. I would like to do that, but it seems like, yeah, it seems it's not gonna happen. Man, this is too bad. I don't think we're gonna be able to get the Vale. Fabricate treason. Let's try this again with the sister, the Sunderlands. Let's see if anyone wants to join us. Nobody wants to join us. Why not? Yeah, they all don't like us. This is problematic because you're ruthless. Being ruthless makes people hate you, I guess. Now having the intrigue focus. Oh, come on. A lot of pressure. I guess we gained the trait stressed. Alright, that's too bad. We lose intrigue and stewardship and health. Now health is really bad because, again, like playing like these kind of characters, especially Petyr Baelish, I don't think Baelish really grasps the concept of dynasty, right? I don't think he thinks that way. That's kind of the way other people think, but he apparently doesn't. He just wants all the power to himself. And so basically what that means is, as soon as Petyr Baelish dies, I think I'm gonna stop the series, kind of like I did with Khal Drogo, simply because Petyr Baelish is such a unique character. I don't think his kid could you know, match him in any way. I guess we're gonna have to see. Oh, Castamere has been looted. Interesting. Now, but we'll have to see, as I said. Right now, I guess I should have been going forward before that, while I was talking about all the other things. Now we're just waiting around doing nothing. That was bad part, I guess. Or, yeah, well, mistake on my part. Oh, Quentin Martell died in Dragon's Flames. Interesting. Okay, so he did not marry Daenerys, apparently. And she wants to have a Valyrian steel sword. Septon Nyssos is her heir. I could marry Daenerys, couldn't I? Actually, all right, let me check this out if possible. Let me check if I could marry her. That would be ridiculous. She would say no. Lowly rank, but you know what? Once I'm a Lord Paramount, this might actually be possible. We'll have to see. Now, how long will Riverrun hold? Yeah, they're almost done. Cersei actually joined in. Okay, interesting. How's the Reach doing? Aren't you fighting Euron? You are, and you're winning. Okay, you're winning. I've actually seen Euron take over the Reach sometimes. It's I don't know if it's 50-50, but you know, he does actually have a pretty good chance if he takes Highgarden and you know, captures Mace Tyrell or just captures him in battle. It's possible, definitely. Now, who's sieging all this kind of stuff? Aegon. Okay. And who is winning in the north? Now, there's so many things going on. Okay. Stannis is winning, but slightly. I mean, Tarth is helping them. Okay. And what about Jon Snow? Are you winning? Wow, Jon Snow is actually winning with only the help of Lord Roderick of Flint's Finger. Interesting. I'm surprised. Good job, Jon Snow. Usually that's not what happens. Usually they get utterly crushed. And yeah, so there it goes. We are now Lord Paramount of the Riverlands, and I guess that kind of means we no longer have any control over the Vale. I knew that was gonna. Oh, I was pretty certain it was gonna happen, but I tried to get it anyways. So yeah, obviously the phrase get all kinds of stuff. We are now Lord Paramount. So Mans, apparently you won. Yeah, you did. Alright, and he now joined in against Stannis. So yeah, the Tullys have finally been rooted out of Riverrun by the forces of House Lannister, which means I can now assume my new overlordship of the Riverlands as promised to me by the Iron Throne. So we actually changed the sigil. If you don't remember, House Baelish, or Baelish's great-grandfather, I think, he was a sellsword from Brothers, and so their sigil is the Titan's head, the Titan of Bravos, and I guess, yeah, his face. But Petyr Baelish himself is more, I guess, well, he was usually portrayed as kind of the Mockingbird. That was his sigil. So that's what's, yeah, we're gonna change our house's sigil, and we're also gonna have to give up the lordship of Middle Point. So we're actually gonna lose some of our land, which is interesting. But I guess the only reason they do this is so that Robin Arryn's not gonna declare war on us, because he would just declare war on us over this, which would be kind of annoying. So yeah, we're gonna have to send our Justicer back, simply because, well, we don't really have there's no need for us to fabricate a claim on Sunrise Keep, which is a shame, really. But yeah, so let's go back, and what do we want to do? Who do you want to improve relations with? I'm not entirely sure. I honestly don't know where I'm gonna go next. Now I do have the North with Sansa Stark. I can press their claim. There's no question about that. That's pretty straightforward. But what else do I do? Now the Royces still owe us a favor. Actually, that's interesting. I wonder what he can do now. Oh, we can't even utilize our favor. Interesting. Actually, let me see if we could do one of this. No. And I thought we could force marry him. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of annoying, so this favor is kind of useless. Alright, whatever. That's just, you know, new to me. I've never really never really played in the Conclave DLC with the new council mechanics, I guess. They're all new to me. Anyways, so there's a group of carpenters in Harrenhal that are working together more and more, as well as taking on apprentices. This is a situation that cannot be ignored, and so you need to either approve of this carpenters guild to ensure you have a good reputation amongst the skilled workers, or you could outlaw them to make sure that they are not an impediment on the local market structure. So if we support them, we get less city tax, but we get local build time and build cost modifier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna do. We'll support them. We'll support them because we probably want to build something in Harrenhal. As I said, I want to try and aim for rebuilding Harrenhal Castle. But first, we obviously need to fulfill our ambition, and we're gonna, as soon as we establish a trade route, we're gonna do that. And luckily, oh my god, the world will not weigh me down anymore. I have a new spring in my step, joy in my heart, and a smile on my face. Yeah, so life isn't too bad. Of course not. Luck, we're no longer stressed. Petyr Baelish should not be a stressed man. Totally not. This is not his nature. But yeah, so how are things going right now? So we have Tommen still fighting against Stannis, and he's winning by 22%. I guess I could join him? I'm not too sure. Now, Roose Bolton, how many men does he have? He has still 10,000 men. The problem is, the Riverlands, we don't really have that many men. Most of these forces are our own Harrenhal forces. We almost have no vassals. Yeah, we have the Vances, and that's it. We have one vassal. All the other guys are not our vassals just yet. Let's see if he would offer vassals if we would accept that. False religion. Small difference in rank. What the heck? I'm your de jure liege. What are you talking about? This is kind of stupid. Why would you not? I'm your de jure liege. Why would you not accept this? That makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, so obviously our strength is very much weakened at the moment, which is why I wanted to use the Vale in order to fight the North, because they have fresh troops. Look at Rob and Aaron. Well, actually only 11,000. That's actually not that much, but it's more than we have. Anyway, in High Point, the White Hill stronghold has been sieged. Actually, it doesn't. It said so. Ah, whatever. Elaine says these peasants we have are all mine to command like little slaves, right? Interesting. Interesting. So that's gonna make her either arbitrary, cruel, or proud. Or wrath and proud. I think wrath and proud is better. I like proud, but the others are not that great. She's wrath. Yeah, I don't really like that trait too much, honestly. And she's chaste? Really? Ah, that's not good. That's not good. And look at this. Army of Lord Bronn. He's commanding 3,000 men. Is he leaving Stockworth? Yes, he is. Lord Bronn of Stockworth. Right. Married to Lady Lawless. We have won the siege of the Fist of the First Men. So yeah, let's see how the War for Dawn is going. Jon Snow, you are not winning as much anymore. Interesting. But luckily he hasn't called us in. That was my only worry, I guess, really. Well, so unfortunately we already failed. We did not get the Vale, but I guess my next step is to kind of wait for the wars to finish. We need to consolidate our strength in the Riverlands. Then we will strike at the remaining forces in the north, take them over. Obviously, before we do that and declare war in the north, we need to reveal Sansa Stark. We're going to do that as well, but for now, I think, guys, I'm going to stop right here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.